Hi, and welcome to the new video. In my last video, I talked about Top Gear and the Grand Tour and my love for this show. And today, I'm going to make my tier list of specials. We'll start with the first one, which is the Lillehammer Olympic Special. I like this special. It covered a lot of things, from biathlon in cars to the main event, which was the ski jump. I'll put it in the B tier because there are even better ones coming up. Next up is the special from the United States. The challenge was to buy a car for under $1,000 and drive from Miami to New Orleans. On the way, they almost died in Alabama. Jeremy was transporting a cow in the trunk. It's a very old-school special, which is good, but I'll rank it below the Olympic one. The North Pole Special. One of my least favorite specials. The Jesus map and some of James and Jeremy's moments were great. Unfortunately, the trio wasn't together most of the time, and that's often a weakness for me in some specials, so I'll put the Polar Special in the very last category. The Botswana Special. The first true special, the first on the African continent, and featuring the appearance of perhaps Top Gear's most legendary car, Oliver, which Hammond still owns to this day. It's the first entry in the A tier. I'm putting the Vietnam Special at the top of the S tier so far. It was the first special where cars didn't play the main role. For me, it's one of the best specials ever. Even though I'm not a motorcycle enthusiast, I really enjoy it. The motorcycles, the suits, the train, and finally the boat ride and James's disembarkation with the ballerina. Absolutely phenomenal. The Bolivia Special. A very favorite episode of mine. I really took a liking to the Range Rover, and I shed a little tear at the end of Hammond's donkey. A journey where they hit rock bottom at high altitude, and I'm placing it right behind the Vietnam Special. The Bethlehem Special. A special that probably has the least legendary cars, but also delivers a very epic journey due to the political context. James even had to go to the hospital, and overall I see it as straddling the line between an S and an A grade, so I'll put it in the S category. Next up is the Indian Special, starting on Downing Street. Some fans criticize it for being too scripted, but I absolutely love their business trip through India, so I'm putting it in the S tier, in first place. From the car selection to the route planning, I'm having a blast with it. The finale might not be as memorable, but it's a fantastic run. Next up is what many consider the best of them all, the African Special with the station wagons. And I completely agree. Few things that have ever aired on TV are better than this episode. An incredibly memorable soundtrack. An amazing destination. The entire journey is absolutely amazing. Once again, I think Hammond has the most legendary car in the form of the blue Subaru. Next up is the Burma Special. Driving trucks and building a bridge across the Coke River. It's very different from other specials, a fantastic ride that brings to mind World War II and the subsequent terrible events in Burma, but it's still a lot of fun. Of course, I have to put it in the S tier, right at the imaginary silver spot overall. We come to the final Top Gear special, the Patagonia one. A special with an ending that no one would dare claim was scripted. Despite the drama at the end and the great selection of cars, it's not top tier, but it's not a bad special either. I'm placing it in the A tier, right behind the first big drive. Those were the Top Gear specials, and now we're moving on to the Grand Tour. The first Grand Tour special features dune buggies in Namibia. For a first special, it's not bad at all. The setting might feel a bit monotonous, but they delivered some good entertainment to kick things off, and I'd rank it in the A tier, right behind Patagonia. Next up is Feeding the World in Mozambique. It's a different kind of episode, one that's very memorable thanks to James's aquarium and Hammond's supermarket motorcycle. For someone who isn't as familiar with the celebrities Jeremy was poking fun at, some parts might be a bit hard to follow, but I really enjoy this episode. So I'm ranking it ahead of Botswana in first place in Tier A. Next up is the Best Grand Tour Special, the Colombia Special. A trip where they were supposed to photograph animals for Amazon's Safe Screen. No dialogue, yet plenty of references to Escobar and his legacy, 3 completely different cars, 3 completely different cameras, a great soundtrack, and amazing entertainment. I'm obviously putting this in the S tier, and perhaps that's why, to ensure the Grand Tour is represented at the top, this will be the second best special overall. Next up is the special featuring RVs in the US. When I first saw it, I really enjoyed it, but every time I watch it again, Jeremy's American-style persona annoys me more and more, and it really ruined the episode for me, which is why I'm ranking it all the way down in tier C. Next up is a special from Mongolia, where they built John. A very interesting idea and concept. It's the only special where the whole trio rides in one car, but because of that, the episode might feel a bit underwhelming. Still, it earns a spot in the B tier ahead of the Olympic special. This is followed by the first special in a while, meaning just specials, and that was Seaman. A boat trip through Cambodia and Vietnam, so Vietnam again without cars. Overall a good episode, but James lagged behind very often, which bothered me a bit, and after all, not as much happens on boats as in cars, plus the first Vietnam episode was stronger. So this is another B tier. We're continuing with the Madagascar Pirate Special. It's a very interesting episode, I enjoyed it, and I'm placing it last in tier A. Next up is the COVID lockdown. A road trip in a classic American car through Scotland. I really love the return to the UK, and the prank on James was amazing, but the episode could easily have been shorter because they started overcomplicating things toward the end, and the ending itself wasn't very good. So I'll rank it as AB, but as the best of the B tier. The next special was a bit odd. It was basically making fun of the French, some parts were good, but others were pretty boring, so I'm putting it in tier C. The Scandi flick totally charmed me the first time I watched it, looking back, it's not that amazing. James's accident was a bit of a shock, but overall it's a good episode, and I'm ranking it ahead of Beach Buggies in tier A. That leaves the final three, starting with the worst special of them all. I actually didn't enjoy this trip, a journey no one else would ever take. The scene at the Wax Museum with Nigel Mansell was absolutely brilliant, one of the best scenes ever, but otherwise it's a bad episode, and I'm putting it at the very bottom. Sand Job is also heading to tier C. It didn't win me over because there's simply nothing memorable about this episode, nothing bothers me, but it doesn't excite me either. The very last episode of all. One for the Road. A beautiful finale that starts off in a gorgeous landscape with a farewell vibe and ends at the place where the specials began 20 years ago. Great nostalgia and a beautiful special that I'm ranking as the best in tier A. What do you think of my tier list, and how would you rank the specials? Let me know. And bye.